I burnt these fingers so many times. They're disgusting. I took it upon myself to take broccoli and like give it a sexy makeover. We're going to actually roast it whole, which is one of my favorite ways of preparing it. Visually gorgeous. It's so much fun to eat with your family and friends around the table. Honestly, I just throw it on the table, put a knife right in the middle and just say, go at it, have at it, and enjoy yourself. I like when things get a little messy, okay? Just clean the bottoms. We're gonna leave the stems on. These are really quite beautiful. I like how long they are. Keep the leaves on. I feel like they get nice and crispy when you roast them because we're gonna be roasting this on a really, really high heat. Process of roasting broccoli, cauliflower, Romanesco whole is you have to blanch it first. This is a thick puppy. The blanching is to tenderize the middle. The roasting is to caramelize and bring a lot of flavor to the actual outside of the broccoli. Get a big pot of water boiling, throw them all in, blanch these. They're not actually covered whole, but that's totally fine. And keep it in there for 5 minutes. Not longer than that, because if you boil them for too long, then they're just gonna be mushy. Caramelize on the outside, just tender in the inside, not too crazy. We're going to, dress it really, really well with olive oil, an insane amount of salt, and then we're gonna roast it at a really, really high temperature. I think I have it at 450 degrees. I love it. I'm like, it better be 450. You make it 450. It's 425. Take your broccoli out, put it onto the sheet tray, and what you wanna do is you want it to like steam dry, okay? Obviously you see all this steam coming off. That's exactly what needs to happen. You really want it to dry out a little bit. And it's good because the oven is still preheating. It's definitely not hot enough yet. So let this do its thing. I'm gonna make the Dukkah now. A Dukkah is this gorgeous condiment where you basically like toast up a ton of nuts, seeds, and spices, and you blitz them together, season it with salt, and you can mix it with olive oil and dip bread into it. You can sprinkle it on top of roasted vegetables. You can put it in salads. Lightly toasted pistachios. This spice drawer is like a surprise. Every time I open it up, I find something new. Coriander seeds. I thought I just finished them. So I'm just gonna toast the coriander seeds, and I'm just gonna dry toast these. And the reason I do that is because it really releases a lot of the flavors and the spices, and it brings a little bit of a nutty element to the spice. 1 cup, okay, teaspoon of cumin seed, teaspoon of coriander seed. So I'm just going to put this right on the stove. I'm going to just keep an eye on this. Make sure it's toasting slowly. You really don't wanna burn these. And what I'm gonna put in here is the coriander seeds, the cumin, and the cardamom. The cardamom can be a little powerful, which I love, but you kind of don't want to get too crazy with it because it can be a little overwhelming. And then we'll do 2 teaspoons of cumin. 1 teaspoon of cumin. I use my Vitamix to actually grind up the spices before I add in everything else, because you don't want the whole coriander seed to be too chunky. You want to break it down a little bit. The broccoli has stopped steaming, so I'm actually just gently lifting them up and patting down like the excess water that collected at the bottom. And while this toasts, I'm just going to season and toss these in olive oil. You can never put too much olive oil, okay? Honestly, I really believe that. Season this well with salt. The salt is incredibly important. I flip them over, more olive oil on this side. Gorgeous. You can 100% prepare the Dukkah in advance, and you can prepare the green yogurt in advance. You do not need to do it all at once. Coriander seeds right into the Vitamix. They're nice and toasted. The Vitamix is so powerful that it basically acts like a spice grinder. I'm gonna add in the pistachios, or obviously in the recipe it calls for hazelnuts. The spices need to be ground up a little bit more than the seeds. Honestly, I just lightly toasted these. Make sure you babysit them because they can go really fast. And I just add around 3 tablespoons of the toasted sesame seeds. So this is the condiment that I sprinkle on top of the broccoli. And obviously I have a nice amount here. We're not gonna put all of it on top of the broccoli. Okay, so I'm gonna keep that to the side. I'm gonna make the green yogurt. Oh, make sure you put your vent on. That's all I'm gonna say. Things are gonna get smoky, smoky. Put some yogurt right in there. This is super simple. The recipe calls for parsley, chives, and tarragon. If you don't have all those herbs, you can just use parsley, you can just use chives. Okay, take a nice handful inside. We have a garlic clove that's gonna go in there. We have some lemon juice to obviously brighten it up. I use a lot of lemon juice in my cooking. We have yogurt, juice, salt, garlic. The lemon just brightens up the yogurt that much more. It's obviously super tart already. It's so good. Let's hit high. We really want it to break down. Done. To be honest, I actually used the wrong yogurt. It should be Greek yogurt and I screwed up. So the broccoli's done. I'm gonna plate it. It's incredibly crispy, charred, delicious. Be careful when you open up the oven door because things are gonna get smoky. Look at how gorgeous. This isn't like just a side. This can actually be your main. And that's what I love so much about cooking broccoli or Romanesco or cauliflower whole, because it's substantial, it's meaty, it's got that really just satisfying bite to it. They're perfectly charred, okay? This is why you want the oven to be really, really hot. You see that? That gorgeous crust on it. And then what I like to do is I take this beautiful green yogurt that has such a gorgeous texture, and I kind of just do a little drizzle. And you can honestly put as much as you want. It doesn't need to be like an insane amount. And then I'm going to put on a little bit of the Dukkah, which adds, again, so much beautiful crunch and texture. I don't go too crazy with this because it is actually very, very flavorful. I'm gonna add some serrano. You can, if you don't like it spicy, you don't need to put the chili. I just think the heat breaks up the flavors really beautifully. Squeeze over some fresh lemon juice, brighten everything up again. Guys, I'm excited. This is exciting. Look at how gorgeous this is. Finish with a little bit of olive oil. Just one sprinkling of Malden. My whole head of roasted broccoli with herb yogurt, Dukkah, a little bit of chili, and that's it.